Hey guys, DRush211 here to give you part 10 of the tutorial series for the speedrun of Dragon Warrior 1 on GBC. So if we take a look at our items real quick, we got 4 keys, we can cast all the spells that we normally can with repel and return and everything, and we've got everything equipped except for the dragon scale. That's going to be important in this split since we're going to go pick up our items after the second dragon we do, and then we're going to go get the Loto armor and Loto seal, and that'll end this split. So the first 2 dragons we do, they're like normal. We're going to repel at the both places we normally do the dragon, try to end on low HP, and then go die. The third one will be a little bit different as far as the route we take, but we'll get to that when we get there. So with the level 16 dragons, you actually do a little bit more damage than normal. 36 is your high, 28 is your low. So you can keep that into account whenever you're doing these battles. I still recommend the plus-minus scale on this one. So once again, we're fleeing from everything. We don't need the extra experience. And it's actually worth more experience to just fight whenever we're getting the Loto seal. And you'll see what I mean later whenever we get to that section. So one thing to keep track is that dragon at high damage yields 18 damage for you. So if you notice that, then that means that anytime you get to the last hit on dragon, as long as you're 19 or above, you should use the iron shield, get hit, and then go from there. Alright, so now we're plus 5, plus 7, so that means we should use the iron shield twice here, because this next hit is going to kill him. 28 is our low, remember that, and we're at plus 5, which means the worst we get is plus 3, so that's when we kill in 5 hits. Bonk, that was accidental return cast there. Now we're going to go outside. So one thing I've actually recently learned that I'll kind of show here is if you notice I went up from the cave, what you actually want to do is go left. So if you go up, you actually have to walk 7 steps from when you go up. If you walk left, that counts as one of the 7 steps. So just a small micro optimization to do going forward. And I just recently learned that, so I'll be utilizing that in anything I have going forward, but I won't go back and change the tutorial videos from before. That's just something you probably want to remember. So this is going to be the last dragon where we try to go low on HP at the end. On the next one after this, we're actually going to go get the items, and then we're going to try to stay as close to max health as possible, and then we're going to go get our Loto armor and Loto seal. So the route we take after this one is going to be a little bit different. We are going to do another dragon fight though, so you'll see that whenever we go to the next section. Alright, now let's get ready for our plus-minus here. Okay, plus 5, plus 3, plus 1. Alright, so we're going to need 2 more hits. So, we're good for this. We can do an iron shield. That's a little bit risky since 18 is the high, but we still have a pretty good chance of surviving it. And then go. So if you're in a marathon route or just it's your first run, you might play a little safer than I did right there, but that was pretty safe as far as things go. I'd had to have really bad RNG. And if you notice, I went to the left there, which got me 4 steps instead of 5, so that's what you want to do going forward. Now we need to go get our items. And we actually have a few repel steps left over since we died in 4, so we can just walk straight to town here. We don't have to cast repel yet. And now we're going to go pick up Dragon Scale, the Sunstone, and the Shiny Heart. And I accidentally dropped off my Iron Shield. That'll happen a lot. You don't really drop off items or pick up items very often, so I'm still really terrible at the menuing of it. Alright, so now we're just going to cast Return because that's a little bit faster. And we're going to immediately cast Repel and then walk it out. Oh. Well, actually in here, I went ahead and equipped because I accidentally tossed off the iron shield. Usually I'll wait on the dragon scale till a later menu, but since I was already here, I went ahead and equipped it. And I've been saying the sunstone, it's going to get the rain staff. We already have the sunstone. And that was accidental heal. We're actually going to try to be at max HP at the end of the dragon fight, so it's not a big deal that we cast heal there. Alright, and that is the perfect place to cast Repel. After this, I'm actually pretty loose on where I cast Repel. I don't have it down pat exactly where to cast it going out of this route. So you'll probably see me lose it a couple times and then early cast it a few times as well. That's a small optimization that I could do going forward, but it probably is going to save you about 4 seconds, so it's not worth it unless you're really tight on world record. One thing I should go ahead and note here is that we're actually doing the level 17 route. That's very important to note, because if you're just learning this for the first time and not learning it as the 17 route, then what you actually want to do is fight dragon probably 3 more times after this to get close to level 18, and then whenever you go get the Load of Seal, you'll be at higher level to fight the Mad Knight we have to fight here, and then you'll just go get to level 18 at the Load of Seal. There's an alternative strategy where you can get to level 18 in the castle going to Dragon Lord. Both are valid. 18 before Dragon Lord's castle is a little bit easier than after, but either one should make it a fairly easy Dragon Lord fight. Level 18 in particular gives a huge stat boost. It gives about 16 HP, I believe. Maybe it's a little bit less, maybe it's only 15, but a good amount of HP, a good amount of attack. You end up doing about 30 to Dragon Lord 2 instead of 24 or so. That stat up helps a lot, but it's not the fastest way to do the game. That's why I'm doing the level 17 tutorial. Alright, +2. Actually, for this one, you don't even have to count. For this one, you should just mash A and go through it, because you're trying to keep the maximum amount of HP you can anyway. So, you hope to kill him in 5 hits. Realistically, you're hoping for a Kaishin to kill him in 2 hits, but that'd be pretty lucky. So immediately cast Return. Go ahead and cast Heal here since we're going to have to cast Repel anyway. You want to utilize the menus that you already have open since it does take a couple seconds to get through the menu. So whenever you have a chance, that's when you should cast Heal, do your equips, things like that. And so I did have 25 steps I could have made with Repel, but I chose to just go ahead and do it because it's a little more consistent of where you're going to end up losing the Repel at. It's one of those things where it's another micro optimization that I could make, but I'm not too worried about it for this section of the game. It's much more important that you have your Repels on point whenever you're going up to the Dragon Loop, not so much at this point. Alright, and our Repel is starting to be worthless because we've got to the higher level enemies. So you probably want to fight most enemies here since we are looking to get to level 17. Rays are so low on HP that I don't bother, but things like Wolf Lords and anything that gives you above 50 experience I go ahead and fight. Wraiths you can usually run from in one try, so that's why I run away from them. And Druid Lord is a good battle, because you're going to kill him in 2 hits, and he gives a good amount of experience. So that's the optimal battle. Alright, we're going to heal before we get into this fight. You need to be fully maxed out HP on this one. So Mad Knight takes 3 hits to kill unless you're extremely unlucky. Also, so he casts Sleep right here. That's the worst spell you can see, because you're going to out-damage him, but if he casts Sleep, he could kill you. Because it just depends on how many turns you go to sleep for. So immediately after that, we grab the Loto armor, we equip it, and you notice we don't take damage from the damage steps anymore. So one of the perks of the Loto armor is that you don't take damage from damage steps. The other perk is it's the highest defense in the game. The other perk is that you regain HP with every step. Notice we're at 97 HP and we never cast heal. So we utilize that from now on because we want to use herbs and heals as little as possible to try to conserve MP. So no need to recast Repel right now. It's not going to be worth it down here. Every enemy you see is going to be able to fight you. And so ideally, you would be keeping track of your experience right here, so you'd know when you're about 100 experience away from getting to level 17, and you could fast cast return, go back and fight them whenever you're going to get the rainbow droplet. But if you don't, it's not a big deal. Just fight to your level 17 and go from there. Another thing to watch out for, if you get really lucky, you could fight a metal slime. And if you fight a metal slime, you'll automatically get to level 17, and then you'll be good to go. You still need to pick up the Lotus Seal, which is what we're going for right here, but you won't have to fight any battles on the way to it. Once you get to level 17, you can stop fighting any battles. An alternative strategy that I haven't tested yet is that you could actually do another dragon at this point, and that would give you a little bit more experience. So it gets you 950 and you need about 1,000 to get up to level 17. I haven't tested whether it's faster, but I believe actually fighting these fights is a little bit faster. It takes about 2 minutes to go fight Dragon, and 10 fights should take you around 2 minutes or so. Especially since you already have to fight 4 or 5 on the way down here anyway. So realistically, it's about 5 fights that you have to save. So we're just going to keep going until we get to level 17. These Star Wyverns, you can kind of choose if you want to fight or not. They're known as jerk birds. Really the whole Wyvern clan is. They can put you to sleep, they can cast heal. Star Wyverns specifically can cast heal more, which makes the fights go even longer. And they can chill you a little bit and get your HP pretty low. But it's up to you. Alright, should be only a couple more fights now and we'll get to level 17. Alright, perfect. Now we're going to cast Return and go back to the castle, but before that we're actually going to cast Repel because you want to save the menu time. One thing you don't want to do is cast Heal More and waste your MP. You actually don't need to heal at all after this. So that's the end of this split. The next one is going to be going through Dragonlord Castle all the way up to Dragonlord 1, and then after that one will be the last split where we show you the Dragonlord 2 fight. So, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.